All right, welcome to Chicago Beer Geeks. We are starting a new podcast here. Us four, Chicago Beer Geeks. I am Dan.
Hey Dan, I'm Nick.
This lovely gentleman to my left here is Nick. So a lot of people know Nick.
Hello.
Tell him we are.
A lot
Nick.
of people.
Good day. I'm Nick. I'm to the left. I'm to Dan's left.
Then we have Allie over there.
I'm to his other left over here, Allie.
And we have Mez.
I'm Mez. Welcome.
Welcome to Chicago Beer Geeks podcast number 1. We have no name for this podcast, so if you have one, you're watching this, post it in the comments, and we'll pick something. We just want to have some beers right now.
Free rare beer to whoever has the best idea. How about that?
That could be. We have plenty of rare beers.
All kinds.
Our friend Bob, who we're actually filming in his basement of his luxurious studio bedroom apartment. No, not really. It's actually a house. But he has tons of beers, as you can see behind us. We got a bunch. So we can figure out some rare beer if you come up with a cool name that we like.
Did we open the Earl of Biggleswade?
Good call, Mr.
All
That
Nick.
is being opened right now.
Send that down.
So we decided to do a podcast, just to give a little more content on the site, and just an opportunity to get together and drink some beer is what it's really about. Is that what you guys would say?
Yeah.
I'll drink to that.
Kind of the overall focus here. Right now I'm drinking Two Brothers, though. What am I drinking? What Two Brothers?
It's
am I
a
drinking?
Two Brothers 17th anniversary rye ale with Thai basil and milk sugar. Now, we're talking earlier. Can you taste the basil?
I probably cannot.
It's a slight hint.
a
Not
slight-
overpowering at all.
I can taste the sugars.
Aroma, perhaps.
Nick and I, however, are moving on to the Earl of Bigglesworth. Nick, would you care to...
Yeah.
Biggleswade.
Bottle 55 of 383. So this was Bob. Can you help me out
What
here?
year is this, Bob?
What year is this?
2014 Dark Lord Barrel Aged Variant Earl of Biggleswade.
So we have Bob off camera. He's our beer supplier today.
Yes. He's actually an alcoholic hoarder, if you can't tell from the
Yes.
room around here.
Brandy Barrel Aged Dark Lord.
Yes. That is. I need to finish my beer so we can drink some of that.
I like the party Dark Lord more than I like the beer. Am I alone in that?
No.
Yes, cardamom, coriander.
It's a crazy party.
Cardamom, coriander, and some other super fun spices in it, and the cacao nibs.
Cacao nibs. It's a good party. I mean, I personally like Darkness better. The Darkness Day. It's less of a party. I wouldn't say it's less of a party. It's less of a chaos party.
Doesn't that... Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I do want to give Three Floyds props for improving the party atmosphere and the management over the past few years.
Every year it's better.
I agree.
There's little things when they adjust and change things. There's little things that maybe get a little worse, and then they adjust it the next year. So eventually, at some point, it's going to be flawless. But we'll see when that point is. But every year it gets better. Have you been to Dark Lord Day?
I have. Can't
Yeah.
control the weather, though. The one time I was there, like 2009, it was abysmal weather. Or it was 2010. Anyway,
What color was the wax?
Yeah,
White or green?
green.
10.
Okay. It was green.
Points to Dan.
Yeah.
So another event, me and Nick actually just went to the Open Air Fest. You guys probably saw we gave away a bunch of tickets on the Facebook page, Twitter, and a lot of people had a lot of fun at that fest. There were a lot of people there.
Toyota Center? Is that the name of that place?
Toyota Park.
Toyota Park.
Toyota Park.
Southwest Burbs. Yeah.
Bob's
Pass
looking
over
us
this
for beer.
Biggleswade.
Bring that back because I don't have any idea.
Yeah, so that was a industrial rock metal show in the vein of like the Warped Tour. Would you say that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a lot of rock bands. They were promoting a big focus on beer, and they did have a lot of better beers than your typical rock concert would.
Hold on. Can we ask what the beer garden area was called?
The Beer Bangers Ball.
Yes.
Yes.
I enjoyed
It
that.
was a Beer Bangers Ball with Ricky Rackman actually
Yeah.
from MTV's Headbangers Ball. For those of you who may remember that.
Stellar.
Showing your age with that one, but
Yeah, he was there. He was DJing in there supposedly too, but I never saw him in there. I saw him up on stage a couple times announcing some bands here and there. But they had a lot of breweries that they had advertised, which is like Goose Island, Surly. What were some of the other ones that they had?
God, who else was there? Because I drank Surly the entire time.
That's pretty much what I drink all
Yeah.
the time. Is Surly. They had
Oh, but Half Acre was there.
Half Acre was
Yeah.
there,
And
I wanna say-
Lagunitas too.
They had
Yeah.
Lagunitas IPA. They had. We were hoping for more of a focus on beer. at least what you would say the same, right?
Yeah, I feel like because that's home of the Chicago Fire, like the soccer team. I would imagine that the beer we had there is something you probably wouldn't get at the soccer game, but it was still just standard fare, things you can buy in the store,
Yeah, it was more or less they just bought the beer and had it. They didn't have beer reps or vendors there at all, which I think would have made it a little bit better if they would have actually had beer reps there, especially in the area where they had the Beer Bangers Ball, because it was a really cool area.
Yeah.
They had pinball machines, they had like other things going on in there. It was a kind of a carpeted area. They had these 2 huge suits of armor out in front of it. Actually, I think I posted a picture of that on the Facebook page, and they could have easily had some beer reps in there telling you about their Surly beer, even if it is the standard fare beers that they have. Like Surly, they had Hell's, and they had Furious, I think were the 2 from Surly that they had. And so the focus on the beer leading up to it seemed to be a big push. That's what it sounded like, at least from them. And I think that's why they reached out to us and wanted us to go and, hey, tell them, what we thought of it. So if they're watching, this is what we thought of it. But it should have been a bigger focus on beer. It felt like there was one before we got there, but then once you got there, that was the standard beer that they had.
Were there any beers in VIP that you couldn't get outside of VIP in the beer garden?
No, not at all.
And I think that's,
So I would say the food aspect of it was actually really nice. They did have a lot of what they considered a craft food. But Kuma's Corner was there with not special burgers for the event. They had their not their full-blown menu, but they had like 3 burgers. I think they actually even had the Slayer burger there, which I don't know how they give that.
The Slayer would be represented in that.
I don't know how they give that to you on the go, because that comes in no bun or anything. So I don't know if they just give you like a bag with a bunch of meat and fries in it, and
it's like a taco in a bag.
Exactly.
With a burger,
Yep.
Fucking taco.
Exactly.
Now, did you stuck around for Rammstein?
Yes.
Right?
So I went the 2 days. I went Friday and Sunday. It was two different nights total. 3 total. I'm sorry. It's 3 total. I went twice. You went the same 2 nights, but you didn't stick all the way to the end.
Yeah.
But the headliner on Friday was Rammstein, and then the headliner on Sunday was who am I thinking of? Slipknot. So both bands I had not seen before. Don't listen to them as much as I used to, but they put on amazing shows.
And how drunk were you, Dan, during these shows?
The first night, I was not as drunk as Nick.
I actually, I had to ask Dan the next time I saw him because I had to cut out. We were hanging out with the Emporium Lake County guys.
Yeah.
And that turned into like this messy Jack Daniels and Surly Furious affair.
Yeah.
So 8:30, 9:30 rolls around. I'm like, dude, I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't.
We had Roger. We become somewhat friends with him through the Emporium, and he's a great guy. So if he's watching, Roger, you're a great guy.
Fuck you, Roger. All that Jack Daniels, you
That's
kidding
what
me?
Nick says. Yeah, he just kept wanting to buy us shots, and Furious and Surly. So me and him kind of went back and forth buying rounds, and it became a mess.
It always sounds like such a great
Yes,
idea.
it did sound like a good idea, and it became a mess. But yeah, the rock aspect of it, if you're into rock bands and the bands that they had, it was phenomenal. There were some issues that they had at some of the...
Somebody died Friday.
Yeah, somebody did die Friday.
Somebody died. They because one stage was in the parking lot and another was in the actual building. And I think this guy, to walk up the building, I feel sorry for the guy because you had to walk up a ton of stairs to get into this venue.
Yeah.
And I think he fell down the concourse.
From what I heard is he was really drunk and he was sitting on the railing on the top.
So there you go.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the venue's fault. It wasn't something that they did wrong and, safety-wise or anything. This guy was, maybe not following the proper safety precautions, especially with that much alcohol.
I'd like to point out that the CBG lawyers are assessing no liability towards any party here in this particular...
We are just expressing our opinions. All these are our opinions on everything.
We did almost say it's the building's fault, right? No, we that's not what we meant.
No.
We didn't.
But,
Okay, no, we're good. We're good.
it was the rock aspect of it was awesome. It was good. The bands that they had were really good. Actually, one of the bands, I don't know if you saw, it was on Sunday. It was Five Finger Death Punch was there, and I've never seen them before live. And
Baby Metal was there.
Baby Metal was there.
Nice.
which was interesting to say. the least.
Wacky. It's like these little Asian. They had to be like teenagers.
Yeah.
Little Asian female teenagers with this band that's dressed in like kabuki theater outfits, and the band is amazing. And they have this huge following. But when you get when the girls start singing, you're kind of like
Yeah, it's J-pop or Japanese pop. And they sing. It's metal with J-pop as the songs.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, but Five Finger. What I was gonna say is, near the end there was like this little, probably 10 or 11-year-old girl. The whole time she was just jamming out to them, and they brought her up on stage to sing like the last songs with them. Yeah, and it was crazy. It was pretty cool.
Was that a random invite?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Excellent.
They said I've seen a couple videos afterwards where they said they just saw her singing like the lyrics to all their songs.
Oh, okay.
So they pulled her, and there's a video of her singing on stage. You can find it. Actually, Chicago Open Air, if you follow their Facebook page, they did post a lot of that stuff, and they're still posting stuff.
Oh.
So hopefully next year, because I think they will have it. I think it was a big success. Hopefully next year they learn from some of the beer aspects of it and improve that. That's what we're kind of looking for, is for them to improve the beer aspects, because that was the lacking part.
Yeah, I think their heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
They were trying to have a nice beer focus.
And this was their first one. So it's their first outing. They'll just get better from there.
Yeah.
And I know, Ellie, you went to the New Belgium Tour de Fat.
Yeah, the Tour de Fat.
So that's something I know you kept begging me to go. You're like, hey, you should check this out because this is awesome.
It is awesome.
And I didn't get a chance to go.
Yeah.
But what's that like?
Well, it's such a unique gathering of people. It's basically got this like 1940s kind of French circus vibe going on, and it's 8,000 to 10,000 people in Logan Square, pretty small. And it's only New Belgium beers, so it's their standard stuff like Fat Tire, and they had Heavy Melon, and they had some other like new stuff. They were kind of showcasing a beer called Heavy Melon.
Really?
It's like a melon beer. Like I feel like it's cantaloupe.
I think it's watermelon, actually.
Watermelon?
Really?
Yeah.
I actually had it not too long ago, and I thought it was...
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of a lot of New Belgian beers. Like, I really don't like Fat Tire, personally. But Heavy Melon, I really liked it for a watermelon beer.
Yeah.
Because I've had some of the others, like the 21st Amendment. Is that the brewery I'm thinking of?
Oh, San Francisco.
Yeah. So I've had their watermelon wheat, which I'm not a fan of. But Heavy Melon I thought was the best one I've had of that style beer.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a tangerine IPA from them last night,
Oh yeah.
which
that's
was
a
actually
really
pretty
one.
good.
Yeah. They
Fat
have that
Tire
too.
reminds me of like Newcastle's Brown Ale. Fat Tire.
Oh, Fat Tire itself. Yeah, I'm not. Do you like Fat Tire?
Yeah, I do. I like it. I like what it stands for because the brewery itself kind of started at by this idea of the founder going in like Belgium and driving his bike around and kind of going to Belgian breweries, and Fat Tire is kind of an afterthought of that, just like a Belgian beer that Americans can enjoy, like the Coors or the Miller Lite, the average Belgian beer that we could enjoy, and kind of like spiraled from there. So.
And Jason's seriously
Trying to get
struggling.
Look it up here.
Ooh, baller style.
Yeah, well, I haven't had this one in a while. Bob is being very.
Yes.
Did they have any sours
Generous
at
with
this?
They did have a couple sours. But I have to
okay.
say, I mean, even though beer was the focus of the festival, it really wasn't in a way. The focus was more like connection with the community, because they really did a great job with like getting people out and enjoying like the different spectacles that they had. Like they had like a sideshow stage with like different kind of actors and comedians and singers, and sometimes all rolled into one, just kind of like entertaining everyone, and it was really
Would you compare?
cool.
Have you been to like the Lagunitas Circus?
See, I would love to go to that since it seems like
You've
the
been to that,
same
haven't you?
vibe.
I have not.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you have.
Yeah, so they have that, and then this band, it's basically nerdcore band called Mukapaza, which is like a Chicago band, where they basically take the idea of a high school marching band and make it like an SNL kind of spoof out of it. And it was just, it's such an experience. Like you have to see that to believe it. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's like a fundraiser for like one of the bike shops.
Yeah,
or something
so
too, right?
West Town Bikes, they give a lot of their proceeds go to West Town Bikes, and they made a record amount of money for the Chicago tour this year. They tour 8 or 9 stops, I think. They start in DC and they end up in Fort Collins, or I think they have an Asheville one now too, because they have an Asheville brewery that just opened not too long ago. So
Do they do it the same time every year?
yeah, it's summer, so it's like every couple weeks there's another one, and it's the same acts. That kind of, it's like a touring circus. It's kind of exactly what it is. It's a circus. It is a beer circus, but it's not Lagunitas beer circus.
I rode my bike to work once. Do you ride your bike as a commuter, Allie?
I would ride my bike to work if I didn't live in Highland Park and have to ride to Niles. But I mean,
a hike.
I used to live in San Diego and I'd ride my bike to work every day. So
I rode it to work. I haven't had the balls to like ride it back home. You know, it's like 7
it there?
It's been there since since March. Like, it's 7 miles. It's
So
7
if somebody
miles.
wants a free bike,
Yeah.
apparently one of the
Save
cities
Valiant's
somewhere.
efforts.
Yeah.
But-
Let's find Nick's bike. He probably will never use it again.
What kind of bike is it?
Oh man, you know, I got it from Walmart actually. Yeah.
Oh.
It's like $80. It was a mountain bike.
Does it have the flags on the handlebars?
I love that we're throwing down Huffy bikes on this show.
That's right.
It's
Streamers?
funny.
Yeah, the streamer.
It's a mountain bike. I'm a big guy. Yeah, I had to buy a bigger seat though,
Okay,
as you know.
So best vodcast name now gets a rare beer and a baller Huffy bike with streamers and a bigger seat.
And a specialty seat, yeah, for your wide ass, yeah. Because we know you drink beer, so
Nice. Now, baller style.
It's good, man.
Were you there at the fest? I know me and Nick were there. You were there. I can't remember who else went. I'm assuming you did not go to the anniversary party at Three Floyds.
No.
4 years ago, is it now? How many?
yeah, I'd say 2011.
2011. So 2011, and who? It's Three Floyds. It's Surly. It's McKellar, and who's the Struce?
That's right, yeah,
The Struce, Black Albert, McKellar. Is it Beer Geek brunch or breakfast?
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those. Beer Geek brunch or breakfast. Dark Lord and then Darkness, all mixed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So when it first came out, I didn't think it was the best in the world. Dark Lord was better, but I've had one that aged a year or two, and it definitely improved with age.
the name of this beer is really dumb. Baller Stout. I mean, it just flies in the face of everything that they do, right? You know, they're like everything they do has like, you know, these mythical gothic or religious creatures on them, right? And then like they just the anniversary ale and they bail out by saying let's just call it Baller Stout. But I will say that this was one of the greatest days ever because it was Saturday and it was in November. You never have an outdoor party at Floyd's in the winter, but then also it was the same day as Fobab that year. So a lot of people went to Fobab, right, both sessions, and then like scooted on down to Munster. So it was a really wacky day of just like nonstop celebrating. Yeah.
And it was also it was the first time that they had sealed in the area. So this was the precursor to the Dark Lord Day, where they put the fence up. Because prior to that, anybody can go to Dark Lord Day. You just couldn't buy the beer if you didn't have the ticket. The anniversary party was the first one that they had the tickets, and they put the fence up.
Big tent.
Yeah, big, huge tent. It was actually pretty awesome because it was limited in terms of number of people, too. The bad part of it was the line was enormous. Some people had to wait forever. The good part is that's the first time I actually got a barrel-aged one because they had it left from Dark Lord Day. So I just got their standard barrel-aged Dark Lord. So it was really cool with that. And then they had the Melvins play.
You know, and the Melvins with the they got two drummers. You know, and they're just like going nuts, like they're just like practicing, but they're just really wacky and they're really loud. And when they came on, like, and this is in the brew house, so the acoustics are really good, and we're all really on top of each other.
I'm still on the Earl, so I'll have that in a little bit.
Okay.
I still want to get to the Drago too.
I know, you
Oh,
guys
we
are
do a
really
Drago.
blowing through this stuff.
You know what Drago's from?
Oh, they were telling me previous to this, but can you like repeat it so our audience can know?
Nick?
Drago,
Yes.
you will lose. I must break you.
Wild Onion, I think, is one of the highly underrated breweries. And
Yeah, well, let me
they
know
don't
you
get a lot of distribution.
Yep.
Nick is holding up the beer we co-brewed with them back in 2012, 2013, 2013, I can't remember when.
One of the few black IPAs I've ever read.
I'd say 13.
Yeah, it was an awesome black IPA. Their head brewer, Pete's his name, right?
Yeah.
Pete, he's a great guy. He makes great recipes. All their beers, they just, even if I don't like the style, it's a good beer for that style. Their Misfit IPA is really like, everybody you talk to that's had Misfit IPA from Wild Onion just loves it. It's a great beer that they just recently came out with last year, I think. And it's like the standard IPA that you can get. It actually does sell out. So if you go to a liquor store, you'll see other Wild Onion beers in cans. Most of their beers are in cans, except for Drago and their specialties. But you'll see an empty space on the shelf, and that's usually Misfit.
Yeah, we all had ties to the North Burbs, and then we would go there a lot. And I think Dan was the one that brought it up, and we were really a big fan of them. We wanted to party with them, and I think that's what led to the beer.
Yep.
You know, and I was really excited about that.
If you're watching this on our YouTube channel right now, check out the other videos we have. We do have a video when we made this beer. A lot of it is just pictures, but there's some pictures, there's video, a little bit of video of Nick talking about it, and big party we threw for Chicago Craft Beer Week the year it came out as a release party. So hopefully we'll get a chance to do more parties and throw some big parties. We had an insane tap list for that.
We throw good parties.
Yeah,
I agree. I think that was our finest hour. It's not even close. We were the first website to have a beer bottled and distributed. That beer, Wild Onion's in every Whole Foods in the state.
Yeah.
So we were the first crew to have a beer bottled and distributed statewide. So
Yeah.
I'll drink to that. I fucking love you guys.
Yeah.
I'm getting emotional.
Get this man a beer. Or shot him a little, perhaps.
Yes.
No, but that was fun. And we do need to get back to throwing more parties, man. I think our Chicago Craft Beer Week party at the Bottom Lounge was pretty intense. It had our fingerprints all over it as far as the kind of things that we're into.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
it did. Weren't we one of the top must-attend events, top 10 must-attend events by Chicago Magazine or somebody?
Yeah, it was
Timeout.
Yeah, it was either the Timeout or the Red Eye. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and we even had that was shortly after, right around the time we had our app featured in Chicago Magazine.
yeah, so picture, if you will, these crazy fuckers, right? Just a very small crew, but we're in we're in Timeout, we're in Chicago Magazine, we're in Red Eye, we've got a mobile app, and this is like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we're doing an event, and it's our version of a circus. There are burlesque dancers there. There's like sparks flying. The Dan's on the 1 and 2s. We have C5 beer pong. We've got a patio, and we've got the most ridiculous list we can find. Like Doom from Founders, Sophie Paradisi from Goose Island, our beer. It was a launch party
Fiscal
for
Cliff.
our beer. Fiscal Cliff, the collaboration beer that
Fiscal Cliff.
yeah, it was like because of the crisis in Washington D.C.
Very timely.
Yeah, so there was a collaboration with a Washington D.C. brewery, right? Revolution, yeah, and then and Half Acre came through with the bottle of Bomb-A. So cheers to Yellowbird. He put that together, the Bomb-A connection.
Yeah. Yellowbird used to do a lot with us. I wouldn't say unfortunately. Fortunate for him, he had a kid, and he loves his kid, and that has taken up a lot of his time. So that's why he's not here.
That's what kids do.
Yeah. That's kids.
And they grow out of everything. I wish I would have gotten an envelope in the mail, a big one, that doesn't fit in the mailbox, that says, "Hey man, if you have this kid, this is all the shit you're going to buy over and over and over again." I digress.
Now we
I'm sorry.
know why
I'm
Nick
sorry.
drinks so much.
Yes.
Oh, man. I love you, Zuri. I was totally.
And Bob, our host, gracious host today, he just had a second kid, so I'm sure he knows exactly what Nick's talking about. I don't have any kids, so it's much easier for me to just do what I want to do.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. I can actually taste a good alcohol burn on this.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
These are boozy, guys.
Yes.
We are really going for the big stuff.
We are here to win.
We go big or go home.
I feel bad not
Earl?
drinking everything that Bob's been so nice to offer us here, but
We
we're
have-
doing our best.
We have all kinds. We have various years of Dark Lord back here.
Oh my goodness.
Tons of stuff which we are not obviously going to drink. We don't have enough time or enough consciousness.
Darkness vertical today though still.
Darkness.
We're doing a darkness vertical.
Oh, good lord. We're going to do a time lapse, I think. Of that.
Yeah.
What did you have before this one?
This.
The Dark Lord. Earl's beer.
Oh, the
yeah.
Earl, yeah.
The Earl, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, right on.
All right.
So yeah, with
Beer.
the podcast and beer, we love drinking beer. But if you have ideas, we're not sure how frequent we're gonna do this podcast yet. I don't think.
Depends on how much fun we have with it.
Exactly, and how much. If we can get Bob to supply beer all the time, then I'm perfectly happy drinking somebody else's beer.
I got the next few rounds planned already.
Yeah.
Okay. But we
Yeah.
could take the show on the road.
That's what I
we're
want to
looking.
do. Yes.
We're looking to take it on the road and hopefully go and interview some either bar owners, brewery owners, brewers themselves. So look for that as we want to have some guests as part of the podcast. If you guys out there have any ideas for segments, let us know. Post in the comments. What you'd like to see. Post on our Facebook, our Twitter. If you do follow us on Twitter, Nick is the one who runs all the Twitter. So all the wackiness that's on there,
Yeah, if
is
you want
mostly
to,
from him.
if you want to invite us over for beers to talk about your thoughts,
That would be the best.
we're down for that as
We'll
well.
get deep.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get deep on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll drink all your beers. We don't have a problem with that.
Go deep in your cellar.
Yikes. Oh gosh.
We will drink all your beers. It's a good name. It's a good working title for this show.
Yes.
I would break you.
Little podcast for beer.
Yeah, we'll podcast for beer. We need a cardboard sign. We don't have a cardboard sign saying that today.
Maybe we could have a cooking segment, you know?
Cooking?
Spend grains, cooking with beer, all
That's
that
right, you do a
stuff.
lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Right,
we could do a cooking show, like a little, all of a sudden, like 1 second. Here's Allie in the kitchen doing, I don't know.
I
One
like
second.
Driving in the kitchen segment. I like that idea. That sounds good.
Cooking with Allie?
Yes, let's
Yeah.
get weird with it.
If it lasts 1 second, I'm envisioning some kind of like knife accident we have to cut away. So it's like 1 second. That's all we had time for
There's
because
no knives with spent
she is
grains.
going to the hospital.
Let it. We need to see it from front. Do not cut anything out. If Allie cuts herself, we have to keep it in.
To see it through.
We have to follow
go to the
through.
emergency
That brings viewership.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll do it
yes.
live. That sounds great.
I
Yes.
feel like you guys want me to come.
Do you have an apron? Do you have like a cool apron, The Rock?
Those organs?
Yeah, definitely. I
She's
have
like, yeah. Who do you think I am? Of course I
mitts
do.
With Westies on them because I have a Westie and I'm obsessed with dogs,
Excellent.
especially Westies.
Well, I like to eat, so.
Yeah.
There you go.
Food is always good. So yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions for segments, other than what we've already suggested, like we probably are going to go on the road, take this on the road. Maybe once we get started here, I don't know if it's going to be once a month. We're going to try to do this at least, I would say, at a good stop. If things go really well and we have time, that's the biggest thing. I think coordinating our time together, the four of us, we have very different
Careful.
schedules.
Good.
So it's really tough to get the schedule when some of us don't sleep at night, others are asleep in the morning, but then others of us are the exact opposite. And then Nick's just everywhere drinking all the time. So.
All the time. Just a Twitter account blowing up. Bam.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, we have to have some sort of topics or idea of what we're going to do, or we're going to look up, and we're just going to be drinking for like 6 hours. Like, you know?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the next upcoming segments where we're going somewhere fun, getting weird with weird people,
Yeah.
possibly cooking, possibly drinking.
Yeah.
Probably drinking.
Definitely
I would say
drinking.
probably
I would say
drinking.
definitely drinking.
Yeah, good. Good.
That's-
Same page.
Yes, exactly. So again, I mean, we have our Facebook page, Chicago Beer Geeks on Facebook. This is going to be posted at least on YouTube because we are doing video, possibly as a general audio podcast as well. So if you're listening to this on just audio podcast, then we obviously did do that. Then we have our Twitter that Nick runs. That's Chai Beer Geeks, CHI, right? Chai Beer
Yeah,
Geeks.
you only get 14 characters on Twitter,
Yeah.
so we couldn't go all
It's
the way.
shortened. We're on Untapped as well. What are we on Untapped? Nick is the Untapped as well. So if you
we're-
look at his, you'll
Yeah,
be depressed of how much you don't drink.
I think we're Chicago Beer Geeks on Untapped.
Chicago Beer Geeks on Untapped.
Yeah.
We have a Instagram too, which is maybe not a lot of.
We need to get that Instagram hopping, man.
Yeah, the Instagram
do.
we need to do more with. We don't do enough, but we're on all social medias, on the interwebs out there. So check us out on your phone. We do have a Facebook, or not Facebook. We have a Chicago Beer Geeks app, only for the iPhone. Our developer is a little biased, so he does not. He's a Mac fanboy, really, is what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
And
Those Samsungs do take incredible photos. But yeah, I mean, I have an iPhone, obviously. Yeah.
yeah, so we've had people ask for the Android app in the past, and I don't think he's going to make one for us, and none of us are coders.
No, but the app will tell you where to be, where to go, what's
Yep.
going on.
Yeah.
Based on
events.
our biased.
Yeah, we put some events in
Interpretation.
there. It's basically all events. We have our calendar on our Facebook, on our actual ChicagoBeerGeeks.com webpage. So we have a calendar on there. So if you can't go to the app and you're on an Android or something, you can always just go to ChicagoBeerGeeks.com and find us there.
And if you have an event, you tell us about it and we'll put it on there.
Yep,
Especially
exactly.
if it's awesome and we want to be there actually. So please
That's
invite
true.
us to the
Yes.
event. Yeah.
And probably the best way to contact us is usually through the Facebook page. Or if you're on Twitter and you already know Nick, you can reach out to him too. But Facebook page, post it. All of us can see that. So at least one of us can reply to you. And we usually do reply pretty quick. So, but yeah, let us know your ideas and thoughts. And post any comments about this video and that you're watching, or if it's on a podcast. And tell us whether you like us, whether it sucks.
Tell us who you think sucks the most, too. We prefer those kind of comments.
Yeah.
In the,
Yeah, particularly, it's probably Mez.
probably. I draw that
Yeah,
attention.
because he just kept open beers and making us drink them.
I'll drink to that.
But yeah, that's where we're at. So we don't have a name right now, but we will have one. So
Or you'll give us one.
exactly,
Give us a fucking name for this damn podcast.
exactly. So cheers.
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 Nick's out of beer.
I'm out of beer.